Howdy, Space Ranger. The name is Bad Luck, and I am the commander around these parts. And today you and I are going to be creating an economic empire from natural resources. In case you're new around here, you might be thinking to yourself, but Commander, what about the Orbital Traders Guild? Aren't they already the economic empire of the planet? Oh, we killed those dirty slave trading sons of bitches a long time ago. Our very own orbital headquarters shall soon become the one true hub of this planet's trade. A few things that we'll be doing today: at our fuel refinery on the surface, we'll be pumping additional deep chem and gas to process for our mining ship, but also to be sold, which is the most important part for today. We're also going to be starting mining operations in the area. Yes, no longer just asteroids. There's no reason to leave all of these resources on the planet's surface that are ripe for the taking. This way, we'll have plenty of minerals and other resources ready once we start setting up several new trade outposts, along with the one we currently have, as we continue growing our empire. But obviously first, we are going to need those natural resources to make our fortune, as well as to exert our influence across this world and its peoples. Peoples who, in the absence of the old Traders Guild, really are beginning to miss their exotic goods. Each outpost requires a person with a 10 in their social skill or above, which we don't currently have yet, but we will be setting up today. For you see, I know where we can find some of the people that we need. There are still many enemy factions who contest our rule, and if they try to challenge us, then we'll take the people that we need. Eventually, all this will culminate at the end of next episode with us ruling this planet with an iron grip, the iron grip of our empire. An iron grip that's also wielding a lot of cash. At the moment at our refinery, we are aware of 2 brand new deposits that we've detected with 300 deep chem each. However, as you can see, these 2 deposits are buried beneath a few million tons of stone, so we are going to need an experienced mining team. Thankfully, we already have the best in the business on our crew. And so, of course, we would promptly bring them down from our HQ to the surface base, where they will be staying for the foreseeable future. Our mining crew is under the leadership of none other than the Great Catfish, our previous commander. She's back from the dead and not at all that tickled about her new position, but you snooze, you lose, as they say, or in this case, you die, you, lose your commander role. I don't know. She happens to be an old flame of mine as well. It's a long story. I'm a dirty cheater. Something like that. Anyway, though, with our mining crew finally at the refinery base, they would make quick work of the stone that was standing between us and our destiny as a resource-hungry and rich empire. After easily cutting through this mountain like butter, we started building our pumps as well as all of our tanks and yet another refinery at the Eastern Deep Chem deposit. And just like that, we are pumping out liquid gold from the ground and turning it into usable fuel for the folks of this planet. Easy peasy. Obviously, though, we wouldn't stop there, as the Western deposit still needed its very own refinery, which we very, very quickly started doing as well. We cut through the mountain, we built our refinery, we built our tanks, blah 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 blah, the same thing that we've done on the eastern side. You literally just saw me do that. With this second bit of infrastructure in place, that actually puts us at a grand total of 3 deep chem refineries, pumping it up, refining it, and then storing it here at the base to be sold at a later date. With the only real hang-up that we're having right now is the fact that we still have to haul it whole by hand, but we have so many people, it really doesn't matter. Speaking of having a lot of things like our people, we have a lot of chem fuel, with us sporting just under 18,000 chem fuel right now in storage. By the time I finish yapping, it'll be up to 20,000. However, with these thousands and thousands of jerry cans of fuel flowing into our storage facility, we are going to need a better place to go about storing literally everything else that we have, like our building materials, wood, stone, our weapons, blah 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 blah. So we are actually going to be digging out a section on the western side of the base into the mountain where we can have a new storage facility specifically for items like that, and that way we can also have a specific facility, the old one, for just our chem fuel. Not only is this for organizational purposes, but if God forbid we were to get an attack that could actually manage to hit the facility with the chem fuel in it, which let's hope that doesn't happen, or isn't possible of course, that way all of our items won't burn up with the fuel if it detonates. Hopefully we'll also have plenty of it sold by then, so it's not too big of a concern like to the bulk goods trader from the Trader's Hub. We would end up selling them as much as they could afford, making us 8,635 cold hard silver. But we had also purchased some alcohol from them. The reason that we purchased these strong beverages was to keep spirits and morale high. You see, most of our crew have become accustomed to life on an asteroid and they get a bit anxious being planetside. Hopefully this will help calm their shakes and nervous tics. We had also bought some extra go juice for our local junkie, James, who has a dependency on it and who has recently joined us. However, she didn't get up. I was a bit perplexed. And then it came to me. We blew off her legs with a warhead. Oh, yes, how could I forget? That makes sense. Well, we radioed back to the HQ in orbit, where we have plenty of resources to make bionics, and we also have Myrtle's wonderful skills at making them. We'll get a couple of bionic legs going stat. Meanwhile, back planetside, since we have so much crew, we need more crew quarters. Up until this point, we've been having everyone bunk together, which they really do not like, because these rooms are far too small to be treated as barracks. So, as with most things we've been doing down here at this base, we are going to be mining out a part of the mountain to make new bedrooms and areas for all the new people who are staying here, of course, within the crew. Just as well as any potential new recruits that we might be getting in the very near future. Keep in mind, as I mentioned earlier, we need people with good social skills for our outpost when we finish up next episode. But you know what? We really haven't been paying enough attention to the refiner base here in the last few episodes, or really throughout the series since we built it. It has been serving a purpose, and as such, we haven't really taken the time to build things like a nice recreation area that we have now to keep spirits high, just like with all the alcohol that we're going to be forcing onto people. Oh, silly me, did I say enforcing? I meant heavily encouraging. Also, it looks like we've self-tamed an elephant somehow. I don't really know what to do with him, so if you have any ideas or suggestions, be sure to let me know in the comment section, and especially if you have any names for him, I sure could use some help. Now that we finally finished up and have many more of our construction and mining projects moving in the right order, Elida is going to be taking James back up to the HQ for her very delicate surgery of having her brand new bionic legs installed onto her person. But of course, Elida's incredible manipulation stat as well as her incredible medical skill would mean that she would also be the same person to install these bionic legs. The operation went incredibly well, and once that anesthetic has worn off, she'll be back up on her feet in no time. Brand new feet, I might add. As she's healing up in the hospital at the HQ, we're also going to have folks like Elida and Kirko as well start working on some research into complex vehicles. These will actually allow us to create some aerial vehicles such as a Cherokee helicopter. A helicopter with a cargo space of up to 4,600 kilograms, which is completely unmatched and will be perfect for our trading business at the planet's surface. However, our refinery base is kind of running out of space for all these vehicles that we already have that are land-based. So, to make room for the helicopter in the near future, we are going to be building a garage within the side of the mountain next to our new storage facility. That way we can keep all of our scythemen as well as other land-based vehicles parked here. Not only that way they're out of the way, but the reason they're right next to the storage facility like this is so that there's an ease of access with loading things into them, of course, like fuel, which is what we have to have for our rocket salvos, as well as just making sure the vehicles have enough to function. Shortly thereafter, we finished up the research into complex vehicles. I was excited to start on the Cherokee, but in order to research this project, we need to find some wreckage of one first. Looks like it's going to be a little while. Although at the moment I think we have much more pressing issues at hand. We have a terrifying and large group of murderous insectoids headed right for us, full speed ahead. The hive are coming, although they are quite slow. I'm trying to get everyone inside the scythemen, have them ready, and there we go. Let's go ahead and start bringing them basically just outside the garage. And the reason for this, of course, is because once we have them out of the garage, we'll be able to get them lined up with their rocket salvos like right now, and we'll be able to hit the hive. Hopefully, I really don't want them to hit our oil refinery. The problem is we're gonna have to repair our own pipeline because we're going to end up destroying it. I thought they were going to start attacking it, but it doesn't seem like they are. Okay, so really dumb idea. I am going to start targeting this area. We are going to destroy our own pipeline in doing so, but we're going to do it anyways. Here we go. Oh no. Oh! Alright, not too bad. Not too bad. Could have been better for sure. A Venomite got attacked, as well as the Mega Spider. Now that they're kind of running out this way, I think we can hit them better. Maybe I should have waited for them to go out this way before targeting this. Yeah, I'm a little foolish. We have swarmlings down here. Now, these would be better, I think, to hit with our scythemen. So let's try to target this area here to kill the swarmlings. And as for the larger ones... Oh, our elephant is running away. Excuse me. Set the elephant on area 1 so he doesn't do that. I'm going to bring our other people over this way. Alright, so we've got our rocket swarm coming towards the swarmlings. And we completely missed. Damn it. And they are attacking our refinery, the Megapede here. I definitely think we could kill the Venomite pretty easily. I still want to target the Swarmlings with our Scythemen if we can. We're going to fire off the Scythemen rocket salvos another time or two. I'm going to bring everyone else, though, out this way to begin prepping to attack some more of these insectoids. Our autocannons are attacking the Venomite, which is handy. Very helpful. Alright, let's see how the rockets do. Let's hope we don't hit our own refinery again. We did a little bit. We did a little bit. I'm going to stop doing that with the Scythemen before I completely destroy it. We have a monitor lizard hunting one of our people. If only monitor lizards were the biggest concern that we had to worry about at all times. Good thing we have a firing squad. Alright, I'm going to start bringing them out this way, though. We'll keep our Scythemen on standby, but I don't think we'll need them. Let's go up here. There we go. Megapede down. Now, the Swarmlings are what we need to worry about next. Luckily, our refinery is doing fine, except for the pipe that we accidentally destroyed. But hey, that happens. You'll have that sometimes. Here we go. Now, Dubman also has the Bioferrite burner on his Hellcat rifle, which would be good. Alright, move back this way, and it's dead. Except for this one. Mega Scarab. Alright, we are A-okay. We'll finish off some of these that are already dying. We have a dry thunderstorm. We have to be careful because we could end up having quite a few fires. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Except for the pipe. But we will repair the pipe. I'll leave our Scythemen here. Yeah, we've gotten a few attacks like this from the Hive before. I never really bother showing stuff like this, but I don't know, it might be fun to kind of show you guys a little bit of raw footage of some of the attacks, especially since we're really focusing on the ground base, the refinery, this episode. We get a lot of attacks like this down here, and I really don't show them. There's no point in it because we're always focused on space stuff, but today we are showing all of the love to the refinery base, so I really hope you guys enjoy kind of getting to see some of this that goes on. I am playing a bit more loose than I normally do. I could have just let them come up here, we pop out from behind here, which is normally where we hide, and we shoot them with the autocannons, but that would have been boring, so instead I decided to destroy our deep chem pipeline, because that is entertaining, of course. Oh, something I do want to do, this steel garage door, I actually want to replace it. I don't know if when we first did this or what, but I can't remember if we had the automatic like the electric ones, but we're going to start building those here because it's so much easier. We can of course open and close them remotely, which as you might imagine, very, very useful. Somebody dropped their LNG. We're going to get these fields tilled. Another thing with the fields that I wanted to mention is that I think we're going to start expanding the refinery base out a bit more. Maybe here, out this way and back, or just up against the mountain, kind of how this is already. And then probably from this small mountain up this way. Let me show the planning. It might show a little better. Just pretend this is an easy line here and not like a massive blob, but something like this to encompass the rest of this on the inside. Oh, we've got our other Scytheman built. That's good. But the reason I want to do that is for this to be farmland, and the idea being that we would build more launch pads up here, or even a helipad once we get that Cherokee helicopter. But I was considering doing the helicopter here. I don't know just yet. But definitely for more space up here for us to make launch pads for more of our shuttles. I'd also like to look into doing some larger shuttles as well. That way we can take more stuff up to the HQ when need be. And of course, I've probably already explained this, but the Cherokee would solely be for trade here on the planet. It can of course haul much more, and it's not rated for space flight, obviously, so that's the idea there. But, yeah, so we've killed all the hive. I'm going to start deconstructing some more of these shuttle chunks. We need to do a bit more mining down here. We actually have a lot of untapped resources because a lot of what we've done is buy things at the HQ and then have them brought down here in exchange for fuel when we're doing our trips back and forth. We have a lot of steel and components and stuff that we definitely could be mining. We also have plenty of silver. There's a lot of untapped resources, though, that we need to work on, and we are about to finish up repairs on our pipeline, which is good as well. And which we would immediately do and finish shortly thereafter, getting the nice thick liquid gold flowing back towards our refinery once more. However, throughout all this processing and prepping to make chem fuel, we began having some power issues. It would seem that our recent expansions to pump all of this deep chem out of the ground and to get it processed has been using up all our electricity. Not to worry though, as we have long since created plenty of technological marvels that can easily remedy power issues, such as our nuclear reactors. All we gotta do is build one down here, so we are going to be making some room for it behind our garage. There was just one little issue. We needed advanced components and plasteel, of course. Thanks to the overabundance of resources back at the HQ, though, we were easily able to bring down plenty of both which we needed, and we would immediately begin finishing up that nuclear reactor. Thanks to a lot of our mining efforts down here with the untapped resources I mentioned a moment ago, we already had plenty of uranium. Electricity began surging throughout the base's electrical work like blood pumping through the veins of an ambitious giant. Shortly thereafter, we ended up getting a bulk goods trader from the local Saurid government. We would send Kefish to go and speak with him to get a better deal, as they're much more trusting of people of their own kind. They, of course, would end up purchasing our chem fuel as much as they could carry, and we even bought a few books off of them to better educate ourselves. All in all, we ended up taking all their silver, which was 4,152 pieces. Now, with our trading efforts completed for the day, the crew thought that it might be a good idea to add on to the living quarters of everyone, but only for someone in particular. For you see, Kefish, even though she had died and bad luck was the commander now, had yet to lose the favor of our crew. Elections and death may bring about the changing of the guard, but favor with the people is where the true power lies. Oh yes, even after her death and mutilation at the hands of an anti-grain warhead, her limbs torn off, her spine shattered, her position usurped from her, Kefish still has a burning flame within her, burning eternally brighter than that of our refineries, which were always flaming and smoking 24/7. However, it wouldn't be long at all before we started depleting the first of these 3 deposits that we had already found. Given this, we would also end up building 4 more ground-penetrating scanners to help us locate these deposits. That way we could go about setting up more refineries. However, this was interrupted when we had another trader. Does that say slave trader? Are you f***ing kidding me? We fought an entire war to end slavery, and you think you're going to come here and just do this right in front of our faces? Keep your cool, Kefish, keep your cool. We'll handle this little issue post-haste, but for now, we need to go about doing this delicately. First things first is going to be removing these slaves from the possession of the traders, which we would do, purchasing them their freedom. Not to worry, my new friends, we are going to ensure that your masters can never hurt you or anyone else ever again. Unfortunately, as with most folks who have been enslaved, rehabilitation is going to be a long and tedious road to attempt to recruit them into our ranks or to allow them to go about living their own lives. All these people have known is enslavement. But a life with us as free people is much better than the alternative. Now then, for these slavers, an example must be made of them. The law demands justice and retribution for their acts of cruelty. It brings me no joy to crush such weak opponents, but it must be done. We are not like our predecessors who had spines made of jello. Our trade authority will be unmatched and unlike any that has come before, and our laws will be respected. We ended up killing the vast majority of these fools, as you saw when the rockets fell atop their heads. However, there were about 3 or so that we could go about capturing and attempting to rehabilitate. They may also prove to be quite useful in the future with our goal of setting up many new trade outposts. Yeah, let's see how you like a brief stint in chains, asshole. Hostility with the swords wasn't exactly what I was planning on this episode. I thought we'd invade some Tox pirate settlement to see if they had scraps of resources, but it looks like we're going to be waging war on some more slavers. And taking their resources, I might add. In particular, there is a base not too far away from our refinery. This will be our very first target. Before we head out, though, I am going to be adding in one additional war vehicle to our lineup to assist us during combat situations. And with that, my friends, it is time for our Sword invasion to finally begin. All of our scythemen, our tank, and many of our soldiers would be heading to this location. But before we arrive, something interesting ended up happening. An affair. Apparently, Bad Luck tried to woo Mai by telling a story about hauling or something, and Mai is now his lover. Just one little problem, of course, Bad Luck was already married to Vag, who is down at the refining base. Well, he did start out cheating on Kefish with Vag, so I guess this was to be expected. Commander, just when I thought that my displeasure and disappointment with you couldn't get any higher. I hope you're proud of yourself, you smug bitch. Well, don't blame me for this. I didn't even vote. Don't worry, we give it another year before he cheats on her with someone else. Anywho, though, our little war caravan is just about to arrive at the Sword outpost. So we have finally arrived, and we've got a lot going on here. They have uranium slug turrets. I wasn't expecting them to be quite this well armed. So we are up here in the northwestern section of the area, and it seems that most of their defenses are over here, kind of towards their northeastern section of the city. They do have mini turrets scattered all around, though, so that's something to keep an eye out for. They actually have quite a few mini turrets. Not sure what's going on in the middle of their base here, but I don't think it really matters. Of course, something that we have to keep an eye out for are slaves, but I don't see any here. I would guess that us becoming the new trade guild and ending slavery has prevented them from getting more in, but they most likely still have some. So it's just something to keep in mind. We don't want to kill slaves, obviously. We would prefer to free them, obviously. But I don't see any here at the moment. Now, something else. Maria laid an egg. I think this might be, who is, oh, Maria. Oh, okay. It's one of the people here. I thought it was one of our people. Okay, well, I don't care about Maria's egg. She and all her friends are about to get destroyed anyhow. Let's go ahead and bring our vehicles down this way. We'll line them up in a bit of a firing line here for our rocket salvos. And the hope is that we won't even have to bother going and attacking them. I am going to bring our roadkill tank down this way, kind of help us out, as I expect that they'll come to try to attack us. And if that is indeed the case, we'll be able to use our main gun to protect ourselves, hopefully. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and set up our rocket salvos to bombard their city. So let's go ahead and do that. I actually want to aim the rocket salvos, of course, in the center of the city, as that seems to be where everyone is hiding, or at least taking cover. I guess they're not really hiding now, are they? Bombs away, lads. Oh, yeah. Absolute barrage. I'm excited to see how this goes. Oh my god. That wasn't too bad. Do we have... Oh, we have another barrage coming. Oh, oof. Alright, let's pause for a second. They are coming to attack us, so we'll have to deal with that. However, I did find 2 slaves. So we have 2 slaves in here. We have to keep an eye out and make sure that we don't end up killing them. We've already struck them with rockets. Alas, there are issues like this that happen. You know, there's not really any way for us to just come in and kill everyone, one by one with our hands and then save everyone. But we can, of course, avoid hitting them with more rocket barrages and thus killing them. So we have to be quite careful now. Oh, we have another barrage coming in. I didn't even notice. Why do we keep barraging the city? Let's start throwing barrages here, as this is going to be where they are coming to get us, instead of hitting the city. I hope that this doesn't kill people, like the slaves. But it might. I hope not. It almost did. Oh, okay. So we are absolutely blasting them here with the barrages. It's insane. We're also going to use the roadkill to get a shot off there. Oh my god. We probably shouldn't be sitting still, simply because that's probably going to end up getting us killed. But if we're sitting still, so will they. And if they're sitting still, we might be able to hit them with more barrages. Here we go. Alright, actually, I'm going to move the roadkill because I was afraid that we might end up hitting it. So we have finished them off, it would seem. I'm going to shut all of the scythemen down just for the time being. I don't want to accidentally end up hitting them with more barrages. So we've destroyed their city. Well, base destroyed, but mostly the base is actually intact and we just killed everyone and they fled. So let's take a look at who we're working with here, because that is something I'm interested in as well. I'm going to make an attempt with our rocket salvos to kill some of these turrets here, because this person, Yukiko, actually has a good social skill. Looks like we destroyed 2 turrets. I need to get rid of this one as well. Gristle here has a good intellectual and shooting skill. We can actually start tending to them. We're gonna bring somebody else over. I forgot Ala actually is not very good at medical, and she cannot do doctoring. So go ahead and see if we can blast this turret with the tank though, and we'll get over here to Yukiko. Okay, so we are now tending to Gristle, and this turret is gone. Let's go ahead and bring Trev down here. Let's start trying to take out some more of these turrets as we go as well, and I'll bring our other 2 scythemen down towards the city to help us with finishing off the rest of their defenses. And here's hoping they have some decent resources here that we can also take. Here, and we also have the uranium slug turret that must be destroyed as well, which is getting some shots in at us already. Not so concerned with the mini turrets, but that uranium slug one will do quite a bit of damage to the tank. There goes that one. Since these 2 slaves are leaving the area, I'm going to hit the uranium slug turret with some of our rocket barrages, as we have been doing, of course. Here we go. Let's hope we don't accidentally go a little too far to the north. There we go. We at least shot it offline, or knocked out the power to it, so it is offline. Ugh. Finally, thank God. So now, with that does mean that all of the turrets within the city are offline, as far as I can tell. So let's go ahead and start adventuring. They do have slaves. Do not shoot the slaves. Even if they are slaves of our enemies, we do not want to shoot them. We got some steel and components, which is always very valuable, might I just say. Chem fuel generators. Let's go ahead and eject this fuel. Not much, but we'll take it. We'll also deconstruct these as well. Ooh, now this is eject. jackpot full of clothing and some textiles that we can sell. A psychic animal pulsar, that could be good to be sold as well. We also have some gold here in the center of the city, 250. That makes everything worthwhile, of course. I think that is, yeah, that's the entire city. So, some useful stuff. We need to repair our vehicles and refuel, and then we'll be good to go. So, yeah, some useful stuff. Plenty of gold and stuff here in the center. Well worth it for taking their resources and for them defying our laws. We'll also get some uranium for our generators from the turrets, which we will go ahead and deconstruct. And after we do that, we'll repair our vehicles and we will get the hell out of here. And we'll also be taking our 2 new prisoners along with us. Scratch that, 1 new prisoner, because this one ended up dying, unfortunately, from an infection. Oopsie poopsie. I would assume they had it before we hit them with rockets. Probably. Well then, as our heroes begin cruising back down the highway on their journey that will surely take them a few more days at the very least, we have work to be performed. You see, we haven't just been sitting idly by. No. We have been scanning the Earth itself to go about finding more deep Kim deposits, of which we have currently found 3, and we also found jade and plenty of steel during this time as well. However, as we began digging through the mountain to arrive at a new deposit area and to set up a pump for our refinery, we discovered most of this area wasn't even a mountain at all. I do want to point out it's kind of crazy. We have an asteroid base, we've destroyed an entire economic power, and yet we've been here for years without finding this area yet. Ah, the mysteries of life, eh? Well, even though this does cause a little bit of a security concern, we would end up using a lot of the granite that we've managed to mine, as well as cut into stone blocks, to build ourselves another entrance with granite doorways. That way this area is safe and sound, and I suppose we at least don't have to go about mining out a huge section again to build our new pump and what have you. So, the good with the bad, as they say. After finishing the first and second deposits that were right around the base there, and in the new area that we discovered, we quickly threw together the third, and we were pumping the fuel back. And I'll be the first to tell you that we are really in business now. Currently, we have 5, yes, count them, 5 deposits that we are pumping deep Kim out of back to all of our refineries. We have gallons upon gallons of Kim fuel at this point. And a little bit of time after that, and our heroes, our murderous caravan of vagabonds, had finally returned back home, dropping off all of the wonderful things that they had conquered in their great victory in our garage, including much of the gold and all of the weapons. For the next several days, we just tried to recruit some of our prisoners into our ranks. We repaired all of our vehicles, more so than we had already, as we had only done the bare basics to get them moving on the highway again to head back home. Of course, we needed to weld some more steel plates onto them, things like that, and most importantly during this time, we were absolutely pumping the shit out of Kim fuel. Well, deep Kim, you know what I mean, and we were refining that into Kim fuel. When I said earlier that we have gallons upon gallons of Kim fuel, I wasn't just bullshitting you. Currently in storage, we have 29,508 Kim fuel. And we're just getting started. Every second that goes by, we pump and refine more and more. Probably about darn time, we started contacting the Traders Hub to request a few ships to offload all this Kim fuel. While we're waiting on that, though, it would seem that we've recruited all of the prisoners that we've been taking this episode as well. Whereas before they were dirty, useless bastards who would enslave their fellow humanoid, now they are space holders. Space holders with a purpose and a home. Reformed. Now, one of them in particular, going by the name of Razor, had the greatest social skill, with that being a social skill of 9. If we can get that 1 point up, she can have her very own trade post, which is what we're going to be working on next episode, as I mentioned earlier, to cap off this series. Now, it is important to remember, though, that the social skill requirement is considered in a cumulative sense, meaning 2 crew members with less than 10 social skill points each can still create a trade outpost as long as their combined skill materials together equal up to 10, if that makes sense. To simplify even more, just in case, if you have one person and another person together in the same caravan and both of them have a 5 in social, their skills together add up to 10 and thus they can create an outpost. Again though, that'll all be next episode. As for right now, we have a bulk goods trader in orbit. Oh, don't mind if I do. Have as much fuel as you can afford, which appears to only be about 8,000 pieces of silver worth, which a little anticlimactic, but still a lot of money nonetheless. So much money added onto the insane amount that we've already made, and yet the money flowing through our palms is far from stopping anytime soon. We still have gallons of deep chem to pump out and to refine, and thus so much more money to make on it. The world needs chem fuel, and we are more than happy to oblige. But that'll be next time. See you later.